So next up, we're going to be checking out the hidden lore of The Incredibles, the NSA tapes from Cartoonshi, which I was told earlier are actually things that came on the DVDs and Blu-rays as side material within the DVDs themselves. So I guess these are legitimately canon things, and I have no idea where we're going with this one because I didn't realize there was supplemental material, let alone more information that might have other lore than what was in the movie themselves. Let's find out. Oh, better go to the beginning. Never mind.
Tubby Joe Schmo over there with a laser pointed at his head, and he might have to wait in line a little while.
Why is this guy literally Homelander? A lot of people...
Wait, they just had Homelander in here.
...tend to call The Incredibles one of the darkest animated movies of all time. You guys...
Really? I mean, beyond the fact that the villain wasn't wrong, just being an ass about it?
...are probably aware of all the video essays on YouTube.
I'm sorry, what? How insanely dark the Incredible movie was. Opponent terminated, Gazer Beam. Oh yeah, because he just killed off heroes at one after the other. Oh yeah, there were a lot of dead people. And Elementary was basically Homelander. I haven't seen these videos. I didn't realize Dark Incredibles was a thing. This is actually news to me. Okay. Also, the Greeks and their too many colonies explained by the Rhetic Hub, one of which said colonies got conquered by Han China by the... Really? Oh. That's fascinating. I'll add that to the list. I'm just kind of curious about that one now. What the hell happened?
The video essays on YouTube about The Incredibles.
Wait, terminated?
Right? The ones delving deep into why it's a subversive masterpiece and secretly one of the darkest animated movies ever made. Now these are all perfectly fine, well-constructed videos. I got no...
How fucked up is The Incredibles? Also, Magnar mentioned Syndrome was absolutely wrong. He had the right idea, but absolutely wrong execution according to Vexy in chat. Yeah, that's kind of where I'm going. I think he came to the right idea and then fucked up every other aspect of it is how I remember. Because his idea of if everyone's special, no one is special... He's not wrong. Yeah. Syndrome was a loser who decided to murder the only option after being rejected. Yeah, that's the wrong part. I don't think that was the right part. I think his entire idea about everyone's special, no one is special is completely accurate. Everything else was fucked up. Like, he is very much a villain. Don't get me wrong on that one. Or, well, maybe I'm wrong and I'm just missing things. Wait, Nico said you sent a video that's kind of the sequel about the Incredibles timeline? Oh, there's even more information about this one. Oh.
No quarrel with them, but something that always confused me is how so many people these days treat The Incredibles being a way darker movie than they remembered as some sort of massive groundbreaking secret when it's like... No, like... dude, a guy froze himself off a building at the start of this movie. There's absolutely...
Oh yeah, they literally did do that. And then he was sued for saving him. I mean, at least in America, there is legitimately rules about if you're trying to save someone, you cannot be sued. But only because that actually was tried. And according to Friend, it's boys level messed up. So I don't think it ever reaches boys level. Are we talking boys comic or boys TV show? I've been told recently that the TV show is actually a little more fluid and less torture fest than the comic was.
A ton of darker subtext and lore you can get from the movie, thanks to its frankly incredible world building, but I think a lot of people tend to focus on all the stuff you can get on the surface level because they're now adults and can actually comprehend the dialogue and mature themes the film has always had, which is completely understandable. A lot of people still expect animated movies to be primarily focused on entertaining kids, and The Incredibles is one of the few animated movies they've watched that feels like it was also written with adults in mind.
But wasn't that literally the entire shtick Disney did for most of the movies? It was like, check out all the things we put in there that you're going to see if you look at the animation closely. Third leg in the, what was it, Little Mermaid. I'm not going to clarify further because YouTube. Also, according to Bill, the comics are infinitely worse than that poor hamster. Are we talking The Boys or are we talking Incredibles? What did the Incredibles do to a hamster? I don't think I want to know.
Yeah, The Incredibles has some dark stuff going on, and the scene that's always stuck with me since I was a kid is the scene where Mr. Incredible finds out about Operation Kronos, and we get a look at all of the superheroes that Syndrome had killed in order to train the Omnidroid. Not just because it's a fantastic scene in its own right, but also because we never actually see many of the other supers outside of The Incredibles and Frozone. In fact, it's only in the sequel that we finally get to see some other.
There was a sequel? Oh, I was unaware of that.
Supers actually using their powers. We also never see much of what life was like in the superhero glory days before they were banned. Now, the obvious reason for all of this is that we don't necessarily need to see this stuff. The Incredibles has a very tight script, and that's one of its greatest strengths. But the lore-obsessed freak within me has always been interested in getting a glimpse of what everything was like in those days. And more importantly, actually knowing who these heroes were and what they were like. Little did I know that for the past 20 years, I could have gotten this glimpse at any time I wanted. Recently, I've been seeing discussions about.
Oh, so the side characters weren't actually ignored, they were just put on the side media. Oh. Also, according to L, what are you talking about? There is no sequel. And according to Mektar, that tells you how well it did. There's actually a whole film theory about how the suicide law wasn't a thing until after when the movie takes place, IRL. Is there? Wait, is this one of those Armageddon-inspired actual defense of asteroids against the planet situations? Also, for anyone wondering, yes, the movie Armageddon is the reason we have IRL, NASA, and other space agencies across the entire globe investigating how to keep asteroids from hitting us, looking into reasons, and I think just last year, or maybe 2 years ago now, sending up a probe to boop a meteor to see if it would actually do anything and land on it and see if that would actually be effective. Spoilers, it was. And now we have ways to do it if we could find them fast enough, which also inspired the entire detection of meteors prior to that because we hadn't done that until the movie Armageddon showed a hey, what would happen if a meteor was going to hit the planet? Yeah. Thank you, Bruce Willis, because you unironically might have saved the IRL world for your acting. Everything I just said is not a joke, and I find this hilarious.
And clips floating around from an incredibly important piece of The Incredibles lore that I genuinely had no idea about, and not many people seem to know much about it either. I'm of course talking about the National Supers Agency tapes that can be found in the extras menu for The Incredibles on DVD, a classified compilation of taped interviews with many of the superheroes in.
Wait, what? Apogee, power type, strength, endurance, intelligence, agility, indestructibility. Wait, endurance is different than indestructibility. Gravity, travels by solar power levitation, wears solar enhancing membrane suit. That's a thing. Also, Bruce Willis is one of the best actors of all time. And Duck mentioned, oh, that means I should react to the Deep Impact plus Armageddon video by Pointless Hub. Wait, they made a double impact there? I know what I said.
Superheroes in the Incredibles universe, the majority of which were later killed by Syndrome or were already dead, giving us a glimpse into what these people were like, their powers, their personalities, relationships, and their weaknesses, and how this roughly half an hour's worth of optional extra content included on DVD adds so much to the existing Incredibles lore and provides some genuinely interesting and sometimes disturbing insights into what kind of
diabolical, megalomaniacal, superior. Oh, yeah, they're going full on evil on some of these guys.
People were behind the masks. I've had this in my possession for about as long as I have been alive, and not once did I ever think to check these out because I've never really been interested in the extras included with DVDs, which I know may sound.
Admittedly, I think a lot of people haven't done that, and that was their initial look. I think some of them were done fine, and yeah, that's a look. Also, according to Nico, The Incredibles 2 did really well. Incredibles 3 is literally in production right now. How much of this did I not even know existed? I thought there might have been a TV series, but apparently there was an entire movie I missed.
Sound heretical given just how much cool stuff used to be crammed into these extras menus.
Oh, wow. Early days. Before. After. Yeah. This could also just be titled Turning 30.
Extras menus, but that's just the kind of kid I was. Nowadays, given the frankly depressing state of DVDs, known as just very little heart or soul.
Arguably the most depressing DVD menu of all times. Play, audio, subtitles, scenes. Oh, I'm sure it gets worse. Ugh.
put into their presentation or
Also, True Warrior Jack, Good Samaritan laws? Misspelled it? Yeah. So apparently, according to some people in the chat, Good Samaritan laws might not have existed here, but according to Magnetar, Good Samaritan laws didn't exist back in the 40s when Incredibles flashback happens. Oh yeah, I keep thinking this happens in more modern times, but no, this is Golden Age of superheroes as they would have been in the comic, not as they would have been at the time the movie came out. Oh, that does make sense in hindsight. It does explain also the 90s to 50s or stylization changes. Or were they more 80s stylization changes? What year did the Incredibles take place in? Not come out, but take place in. I have absolutely no idea.
extra content, I would kill to have stuff like this back. It's so cool. Especially when you start listening to these tapes and realize they had to get a ton of voice actors to read like 1 to 2 minutes worth of dialogue.
Oh, they were recorded with audio. I thought it was just individual scenes you were looking through. Okay. Huh. Personality, bad temper, requires lots of praise, fun is for drink. Oh, God.
For characters that are canonically dead. This was made purely out of love and to add some additional context to an already rock-solid film. Pixar used to be one of the best when it came to extra content included on DVD, and honestly, nowadays, even if they just put these kind of things on Disney Plus, I'd still be happy to get them. But anyway, I wanted to do a proper deep dive.
Oh yeah, Disney Plus is a thing. I had no idea about that. Also, according to Fran, 40s, later the 60s, Magnetar mentioned the main events of The Incredibles happened in the 60s, specifically 1962, according to Magnetar. And Nico said 1964. Okay. Huh. You know, that does explain the aesthetic of the button-up suits everywhere. And the corporate gray everything. As opposed to now, where it's corporate gray everything.
Into these tapes and discuss all the little details I could get. There is technically a video about these tapes from Thai Records LOL, but I mean no offense when I say this, it was basically just a re-upload of the tapes with about 4 minutes worth of additional commentary, and personally I think there's a lot more you can say about these tapes. Here's how this is gonna go. I'm gonna try to play each tape in full and give my commentary and analysis after one of them is finished. I may have to cut some of them short if any copyright issues arise, but I've noticed Pixar are pretty lax when it comes to copyright protections on these, so if I do run into any issues, I'll try to.
It might just be because the side media isn't as protected as much because they wanted people to see it more. I have no idea. We'll find out.
Play the most important parts for you. In conjunction with the tapes, I will also be providing some lore drops from the Elastigirl prequel book set before the events of Incredibles 1 whenever necessary.
There was an entire book? You know, actually, nah, Disney's pretty good about getting extra media out there, so I shouldn't be too surprised about this.
This is also a handy piece of lore that not many people know about, and it's also a pretty fun read. I hope this is more of a chill video. This is very
Stormicide? Oh, that's a name. Personality, excellent multitasker, caretaker for ailing uncle, graduate student in chemistry, committed to hero work, sensitive to criticism. Also, they're just a graduate student. Got it.
Very different compared to what I usually do on this channel, so please let me know if you enjoyed and found this interesting, and I'll see if I can make some more videos like this one going forward. But first, please allow me to fulfill a contractual obligation. This video is...
Oh, yeah. Just going to skip past the part because I am not sponsored by them.
Support this channel. And welcome back. As said previously, each tape belongs to a specific hero, and
oh yeah, and he can see his in there as well. And Elastigirl. Did any of these people survive, or are they all dead? Huh.
Information provided on screen and through their voiceover will be discussed once the tape itself is finished playing. I've also broken this video up into chapters, so if there's a specific character here you're interested in hearing about, then feel free to skip along, though I do recommend you watch in full. Alright, let's begin.
Apogee.
Do we have to talk about the Thrilling Three?
Oh, so it's not just their card, it's the card on the background with their audio work on top of it. Oh.
Yeah, yes, I was part of that group, and it was well-intentioned.
Former member of the Thrilling Three, disbanded. Highly intelligent, quick-witted, lacks tact, enjoys finding fault in others. Oh, gravity control.
A bit misguided. You know, let's face it, it wasn't really the Thrilling Three. It was really the Thrilling One, plus two, in Gazer Bean's mind. It was less than thrilling. Less than thrilling, that's good. Well, let's see. I started out in Arizona and then migrated over to Los Angeles, which was great. I had a great long run there. A lot of work to be done. A lot of superheroes see Los Angeles as kind of a launching ground. And to be honest with you, I didn't have a lot of places to launch to from there. The solar-powered thing, it's good for the environment, but it's not so good for me. It limits my ability. It limits my work hours.
Yeah, leader. Gazer beam provides cover using laser power. Tactical. Apogee airstrikes. The physical voice powers the grunt of the group. Oh, the flange. Okay, he's the grunt of the group. That's probably the last guy. Team headquarters. Thrilling 3 towers in nation's capital. Currently leasing out the office space pending new group formation. Daytime notes. Disbanded. The breakup of the team tarnished national symbol of patriotism. Omit numbers and team names. Calls attention to membership fluctuation.
Makes me look like an idiot if something happens at night. Really, it's really hard when it's nighttime for me because I'm a rather social person. I like to dance. I like to go out to dinner. And if something horrible happens, my power's not going on because
It's so weird just hearing people gripe in ways that I know I've heard people talk like this IRL. So, Also, Magtar, you think Syndrome managed to steal the tapes from the NSA? Oh, dear God, man. I'll swear to Brandon. There is at least one incredible sequel game that was made 10 years IRL before the actual sequel. How much later did the sequel come out with for there to be a 10-year gap? Oh, damn.
Sun's not out, and so it can be frustrating at times. Unless evil breaks out at a tanning salon. I'm done for.
If that ever happened, my wife would become a hero in seconds. I'm glad you didn't hear me say that.
One thing you'll immediately notice about these tapes is the fact that every hero's weakness is either written down or said out loud by the hero being interviewed. You'll also remember that in the movie, Syndrome had spent a good while killing off these exact supers one by one, and to do that he would have had to have access to some sort of classified files to know about their secret identities and locations. Hunting down this many heroes who are not only in hiding but are protected by a small branch of the government is no small feat, and I personally believe that Syndrome somehow gained access to these files, which gave him all the information he needed. And I don't think
So people in chat mentioned he stole them. What are the chances that he was just given them? Because the government was pushing the entire, let's not get rid of superheroes, let's just make sure they're illegal now.
Would have been that
Unless I'm
difficult for him to
misremembering.
obtain these files given his career as an arms dealer, and he likely had a good relationship with any government or agency buying from him. Then there's also the fact that Mirage does most of the scouting and spy work for him, as seen when she's tailing Bob and Lucius at the start of the movie, and when she successfully sneaks into Insurer Care to spy on Bob and deliver the message to him when he's not looking. This would also be a good reason for why these tapes were even made or thrown into the DVD as a bonus, giving us a look at all of the files Syndrome had on supers in order to kill them off one by one and train the Omnidroid. As you likely saw and heard, Apogee gets her powers via solar panels, which, to be a bit of a nitpicking douche for a second, is
Also, so Nika mentioned, nope, 2018. The first movie was 2004. Oh, shit. It was a 14-year gap. Damn.
very funny considering the golden age of supers like it took place in the 40s. Supers were likely banned in 1947, and commercially viable solar panels weren't really a thing until 1954. Hey, look, we're overthinking the...
Wait, we had solar panels since the 40s? Sorry, the 50s? I don't know why, but for some reason I thought this came about in the 80s. I didn't realize the technology was that old. Huh. The more you know.
Incredibles here, I can be a history nerd if I want to. And she makes it very clear that she's next to useless at night. It can be rightfully assumed that Syndrome took advantage of this by having the Omnidroid attack her either at night or in an enclosed space with no light source.
Yeah, but also, doesn't that kind of defeat the point of the drone to get better? I mean, yeah, he wanted to kill them all, but also, you know, make it better to do so. The obvious one on her would be kind of, inducing.
Also learned that she was part of the superhero group called the Thrilling Three, that consisted of her, Gazerbeam, and the Flange. We'll learn later on that superhero groups weren't that uncommon back in the day, but that they tended to fizzle out and disband due to friction between members, which may have added to the growing public resentment towards supers, given how the disbanding of these groups tarnished the national symbol of patriotism, which is something you probably don't want to do in a recently post-World War II America.
Oh, yeah, because again, this was sent in 46, which would have been, what, 1 year later? Oh. Also, Magtar, more like to make sure the droid was smart enough to do it in the first place. So she might have been an early one then. So the droid would be smart enough to know attack at night when they don't have powers as opposed to anything else. So making it choose to do so. And Fran mentioned the theory is the government was tired of wasting resources hiding them, So they just gave Syndrome the info. Oh. Or they lost it. And Golden, if I'm not wrong, I think he worked with the NSA in secret. Was the NSA even around in the 40s? Because I know this is around the time where we started having them, but I thought that would be the CIA at this point as a successor to whatever was going on at the time, which I just do not remember the name of. I know the FBI was already around because they had done stuff with runners and catching people for prohibition. My wife mentioned that one, yeah. Also, that means my wife can hear me. Oh. I will watch my words.
I am very independent. I don't need helicopters. I don't need airplanes. I can heat the...
That is very fast talk. Oh, dear God. Pyrotechnic kinetic discharge, heat control, and heat resistance. Flies by riding the heated air. Weakness, water, and below zero temperatures. Frozone. Personality, team affiliation, beta force. Really? Beta? Once partners with Frozone, but relationship ran hot and cold. Sassy. Really? They're just dropping the pun in there? Arrested and jailed, recruited by NSA, watched closely to ensure she operates within NSA guidelines. So she probably tried to hero afterwards. Ah. Also, or the OSS was the CIA in World War II. Oh, okay, yeah.
Air underneath me and lift right up, and I don't have equipment. The flames come straight out of me. What a waste. Some superheroes have equipment, and I think that's just a waste. You have to maintain it all the time. I just have my super suit, and that's about it. I like my independence. You know, the NSA knows that I'm very independent, and, you know, a team, you know, surrounding, you know, they do look after me, and which is good and everything. You know, they always have to keep an eye on me. I mean, I don't know why. I mean, I only light a couple of things on fire that I shouldn't light on fire. I mean, it's not my fault. I mean, it is very hard to, you know, keep everything under wraps. Sometimes my temper...
Oh. So she's someone who's just not just a pyromaniac, she's just a pyro. Got it.
You know, I can get a little bit hot-headed, but not much. I mean, when I think about things that kind of anger me just a little bit, you know, then boom, you know, the building lights on fire, and then next thing you know it, the hills light on.
I see why the NSA would want to get rid of her. So it's not just the hills. What's coming after the hills?
On fire, and then Frozone has to come along and you know, cool everything down, and then I have to be grateful and say, oh, thank you, Frozone, I really appreciate it. But, you know, he's really annoying. He thinks he's all that, and I do enjoy being independent. You know, they recognize that.
We're sure these were the heroes, right? She's a powerful stop, and she has to pretend to be helpful that he literally kept her from doing wildfires when she's slightly annoyed. And you even hear it's like she sounds like an addict. Unironically, I'm wondering if Burn Scar was based on this character. If you know the comment, yeah, you see where I'm kind of addicted to a certain type of literature right now. Yeah, let's put it that way.
And I love my powers, and, you know, I don't have to carry any equipment on me, and I really enjoy that.
Could you say that again?
Slower?
Wait, what? Do you want me to say the whole thing again? I thought it was...
Oh, God, that wasn't sped up. I'm sorry. I thought he was just speeding up her dialogue for time. No, he wasn't. She's just insane.
To be clear, you want me to go back again, the whole thing? I don't understand.
I honestly think, no, this is someone who's on drugs. This sounds like a meth addict who's hyperactive and is going to talk all they're on uppers for this thing, man. Or is that just what she's like? Oh, yeah, heat, fast, got it. And Necro reminds you of Flambe from Dispatch. I think he had better control and started less fires. They're heroes in name only, Taryn? Yeah. And Zona mentioned, talks like a chihuahua on crack, and the heroes need to save the day, not be the actual good people. It sounds like she's causing the problems. Oh, God.
Oh, I am so sorry. I know what the problem is. I keep on forgetting which dimension I'm in. Wait, which dimension am I in?
Blaze-Stone is very interesting, and
oh, she just has mental issues. Okay.
before anyone asks, no, she does not have any dimensional warping powers or anything of the sort. I've seen a few people online suggest that her comments about not knowing what dimension she's in after realizing she's talking too fast suggest that she travels through different dimensions, despite that not being one of her listed powers at all. She's just described as a pyrotechnic by the NSA, and if she did have powers of this magnitude, I believe they would have absolutely had it written down somewhere. So for all we know, she just has a habit of talking really, really fast. It's not a very exciting answer, but it is funny.
And kind of insane. Arrested and jailed. Yeah, I can see that one.
Seen in the notes here before.
Also, Croc mentioned these are the good ones. These aren't the evil heroes. Oh, God.
Before she became a superhero, she was arrested and jailed for some sort of crime that we're not told about, only to be recruited and
I'm just going to take a wild guess in here. Did it involve fire? And she's like, I don't know why they have to watch me all the time. I'm like, because you are literally going to cause the next fire, probably. And they mentioned California, so I'm assuming, has there been anything in the news recently, ever, in the last 100 years that involved Californian fire?
Rehabilitated by the National Supers Agency, who kept her on a tight leash while she
I don't think the leash was tight enough. If that's the kind of thing, she's like, I need to pretend that, him stopping from lighting an entire hill on fire in California is something I need to pretend to be happy about. It's like, I'm fine. Why don't we just burn more things in a very flammable location? To quote Corinne in the chat, Flambe was actually very sane compared to her. Yeah. L? No, Stoner is not where I would go because that's the downer. It probably wouldn't have that effect.
performed hero work. Surprisingly, she used to be in a relationship with Frozone, but that doesn't really get elaborated on too much. And she even teamed up with Universal Men as a dynamic duo called Beta Force, who seemed to only operate during the night compared to most of the other heroes who operated at basically any time. However, she would defect from the NSA and fall on the wrong side of the law once again later on. This isn't explained in the NSA tapes, but is actually shown in the Elastigirl prequel book, where she organized a group of criminals together in order to steal a bunch of stuff and leave the city, only to be foiled by Elastigirl, Downburst, Mr. Incredible, Frozone, and even Universal Man. Sometime after Blaze-Stone was released from jail, she was targeted by Syndrome, who likely took advantage of her weakness to water and cold temperatures.
Yeah, that's kind of insane. Also, Nico, this world is more like Watchmen thematically over The Boys. Yeah, because no one we've heard yet is as evil as most every single character in The Boys. Although, again, I'm basing that on my knowledge of the comics, not my knowledge of the TV show. I know most of the memes for the TV show. I haven't seen the show myself because I know enough about the comics that I didn't want to touch that ever. It's way too dark for me. It's one of the times where I could say, honestly, I think the characters out of Worm are less fucked up. And considering Worm is explicitly someone actively trying to say, here's all the dumb things about the superhero genre, and just generally having a misanthropic view of government or any type of control. Yeah. Also, Gold is just adding a yet in there. Oh, God. And Necro, yeah, that's kind of my thought process. Probably not the first one because time period. Although it was right after World War II, so I don't even think it was illegal yet.
My powers are atomic density manipulation.
Oh, okay. Oh, he's very dense. Reshape matter creates transportation devices from available material. Cannot reshape matter into complex forms. Reshaping organics limited to healing small wounds.
Ability to reshape matter. Say you have a cut or a boo-boo on your arm.
I'm assuming the cannot do complex is more a him thing. His intelligence is low, but not as low as indestructibility or strength. Power type, strong. Strength, no. Endurance, yeah. Intelligence, yeah, decent. Agility, better. Indestructibility, low. Continuing NSA training to develop ability to reshape matter into complex manufactured objects. Currently focus, bicycle. Unrequired crush on Blaze-Stone, dislike Frozone. Do not bring up in conversation. Oh, he had a crush on her. The guy talking really slow, Downburst, with the girl who could never slow down. Oh, jeez, that's...
I can probably do something about that. I'm not exactly a Band-Aid. I'm a little bit better than that. I'll actually heal it. So I got my...
Which is weird, considering skin is way more complex than a bicycle. The interactions are insane. Also, according to Magnar, indestructibility is defense, while endurance is stamina. Oh, so endurance is just keeping on, not surviving to keep on. Got it.
I started in a doctor's office, actually. It seemed like a good place to start at the time, but it's pretty boring in there, actually, and I got a little tired of it. The doctors, they didn't appreciate what I was doing as much anymore, and I wanted something a little sexier, than just cleaning up wounds. So I thought I would try this whole superhero thing, see how that went for me. Currently, I'm focusing in on trying to reshape different materials into bicycles.
Oh, he was choosing bicycles, not the NSA. This definitely sounds like someone where, maybe it's the name, but downburst makes me think Down syndrome. I don't think that's accurate. Can't really see his forehead to tell, but I love how he's paired with the last person because it's like the very high, very fast, very what the fuck is wrong with you versus him who's very slow, very steady. And honestly, doesn't seem like a bad guy. Yeah, like unironically, just, yeah, that's fine. Not heroic, but that's fine. Oh, and Tob, or Tabia, not Tab. I'm probably butchering your name. Sorry about that. Thank you for being a member at the clean shaven level. Thank you.
It's sort of a hobby. I'm starting to gain some acceptance within the superhero community. I've gone to conferences and stuff, and at first I started in the back of the room, just sort of as an onlooker. Now I have my own, I have a table I get to sit at now. Some heroes talk to me. Especially if they want a bicycle.
Downburst seems fairly chill, honestly. He doesn't seem like the strongest hero ever, but it's a
yeah. And L, he's just a little dense. Yeah. Also, Nico, I don't know what New Frontier is. It's the first time I've actually heard about that one.
Atomic manipulation powers seem fairly neat. By the time this interview was recorded, it didn't seem like he got very far of making them super useful, given his healing capabilities were
sort of as an onlooker.
Okay, that was weird.
Atomic manipulation super useful, given his healing capabilities were only limited to small.
Also, Valera mentioned he's more awkward than dense. Maybe a bit, but also I'm not entirely sure how dense he is versus maybe just slow on the uptake.
Wounds, which in all fairness does seem pretty handy in battle. The Elastigirl prequel book, however, did show that he had gotten more effective of healing, and his atom generation abilities also led to him creating the original Elasticycle for Elastigirl.
Oh, he got better at bicycles. Huh. So dense, but apparently he got better over time. Good on them.
A lot of Downburst's lore seems to be closely tied to Elastigirl, honestly. Despite not being the strongest hero ever, he shockingly did manage to beat the second version of the Omnidroid, which a lot of people would look over because the Kronos Unveiled scene in The Incredibles cuts away on the second version killing Blazestone, and then cuts back to Downburst being killed by the third version. Downburst doesn't seem to have any real serious weaknesses listed on here, so it's likely the Omnidroid just beat him through sheer brute force after learning all his moves in the first fight. Also, as a side note, can we talk about just how incredible the voice acting is?
Every time he says that, he's going to drop that in, isn't he? And yeah, I agree. The voice acting is good. It gives so much character to someone you only see in a static image. Also, Necro, you mentioned Worm feels like an experiment destined to fail. Oh, Necro, I'm not going to say anything because spoilers, but... Spoilers! Okay, for anyone who's still here after those, in case you want to avoid that, yes. Explicitly, yes. And that's actually part of the lore for that universe that works out better because it does actually explain that. Some parts about it are not always the best handled. I think the writing in all of Worm is good plot line, good world building, good characters. Interactions are sometimes not the writer's strong point. Not bad, just not their strong point. It's also probably why fanfiction has been heavily inspired by it. Yeah.
In these tapes. Without exaggeration, this is some of the most natural and realistic sounding voice work I've ever heard. It really does feel like these characters are having casual, down-to-earth conversations, and it really sells how interesting these are to listen to, and also how kinda eerie this all is when you really think about it. 90% of these people are dead, and the realistic voice acting really sells that these were all real people with their own lives. These aren't just one-off cartoon characters created for the express purpose of being killed off screen. A lot of thought was put into all of their powers, designs, and personality.
Yep. Also, I'm being told by Nico, DC New Frontier, oh, it's DC, is Justice League during the Cold War. Oh, kind of the opposite of Watchmen. Okay. Honestly, that's cool.
It makes Syndrome superhero genocide feel so much more tragic, and listening to these classified government recordings of them in their prime is oddly creepy.
Dyna Guy?
Being a superhero, one of the first things you gotta do.
Oh my god, this sounds like every guy you've met in a city who's just like doing their job and is like, okay, we're doing the thing. Power type, strength here. Disintegration rate disrupts atomic force among atoms. Flight powered by ion propulsion gauntlets. Limited range for a disintegration object. Must be closer than 5 meters. Original member of the Thrilling Three, replaced after death of Gazer Beam. Oh, and Gazer Beam was one of the people killed by Syndrome, too. Impulsive and reckless, NSA mediation regime. Died in action, suit malfunction. NSA ion propulsion gauntlet recovered. Reasoning? Reassign. Oh.
Do is figure out what you want the people to call you. You know, I started out, well, let's go with the power, but, you know, forehead ray disintegration guy, that was too long. I couldn't do that every time I went out to save someone. You know, walk up to a supervillain, it's like, stop, it's forehead ray disintegration man, and by then he's already turned tail and run. So one day I'm having lunch in a local diner, and I'm really desperate. I haven't thought of a name yet, so I'm just looking around. It's like Fork Man didn't work. How about Spoon Dude? Banana cream pie throwing man?
I mean, those kind of names exist in DC and Marvel for some of the side characters, so why not?
Black and white TV guy.
Oh, I had it backwards, Valerian. Replaced by Gazer Beam. Oh, okay, so I had that backwards. I thought replaced by death by Gazer Beam. I thought Gazer Beam... okay, yeah, I had it backwards. So he died, then Gazer Beam took over. Got it.
Menu Mensch. Oh, that didn't work. The napkin dispenser guy. I didn't really want that name.
Oh.
But I see the placemat. You know, it's Ralph's Diner.
This sounds like every retired guy who is just like puttering around, not really sure what to do. It's like, oh, well, we could do the thing. Yeah, but it's not really my thing. Yeah. If you've ever met someone who just putters around, this is that guy. I know so many people like this. Condiment King?
Maybe Diner Guy. But no, like if my name's Diner Guy, it's like I'm only protecting the diner. When people come in, I defend the diner.
Service hero?
I didn't want to restrict myself to that. Keep thinking Diner Guy. It actually fit together.
It actually was supposed to be Diner.
It had a good ring to it. So I started saying it to myself. It was like dynamite and dynamo and dynamic and dinosaur. They all sort of meant big and powerful, and I just think all those words, they really sounded dynamic, which...
This sounds like someone who would go online and just watch cat videos, but not good cat videos, but like just videos of cat care, but they don't have a cat. They don't want to get a cat. It's like, well, I should probably find out what it would be required if I ever did get a cat. But I'm not sure I'm going to get a cat. Maybe I should find out what a cat would need. It's like nothing wrong with it, but it's like overthinking something well beyond the point of doing it and then not doing anything about it. Can you imagine someone on the internet who just overthinks things? I got no idea what that would be like.
You put them together and you get me.
Dyna Guy is the first hero we listened to who was already long dead by the time supers were banned in the first movie, being one of the many victims of cape-related suit malfunctions.
Oh, it was cape-related.
He had a great look. Oh, the cape and the boots.
No capes.
There isn't a whole lot we can get from Dyna Guy.
He was the
other
example
than he
of
shot
them.
disintegration rays from his forehead, and he was the original member of the Thrilling Three, only to be replaced by Gazer Beam after he died. It's also written down that the NSA managed to recover his ion propulsion gauntlets and considered reassigning them to another hero after his death.
Elastigirl. Oh, she was early in the list, yeah.
When you're a female superhero, getting clothes that don't wear out after a couple of wearings. I mean, after one good fight, I don't want to look like a housefrau.
A what? I have absolutely no idea what that is. Yeah, we know all the powers. Minimum thickness is 1 millimeter. Strength diminishes in proportion to max elasticity. Really? Oh, didn't know about that part. Very low indestructibility. Really? Intelligence, very high. Agility is insane. Endurance is pretty high. Power surprisingly higher than some of the other people so far. Aggressive go-getter, reliable, refused offer to lead new super team, Heroes Incorporated, romantically pursued by many top supers, but prefers her freedom. Heartbreaker. Oh, God.
Like I'm wearing a burlap sack. So, yeah, I've spent so much money. I've been broke trying to put together a good wardrobe for work. And that's just when is this problem going to be solved for me? I can't wait for the day when somebody can put together a good line of action wear. You know, action wear that will be
I wonder if her interview literally inspired Edna.
Form-fitting, that will recover after a couple of good days of work, that can really function and has style. Okay, look. If I do a couple of good moves, hold on. If I do a couple of moves like, I'm sorry. Well, if I do a couple of moves like this. I'm sorry.
I heard at least some breaking glass in there. What did she just do? Oh, God. I'll scroll into Or. Elastigirl threatening the American government that if they gave her too much trouble, she will defect to the Soviet Union. I wonder how many people actually did that then.
Like that. I mean, look at the underarms. My armpits are like practically down to my knees. This is like very, very unattractive.
She just pretzeled herself, didn't she? How many people listened to this tape and suddenly were like, new fetish unlocked? Oh, God. There's probably a non-indistinct amount. And I don't mean people watching this thing. I mean the people who listened to it when they were writing it. Oh, God.
It's like bagging out around my hips. I was looking nice before. And now it's, maybe I'm as big as a house in this thing. Hey!
Well?
Is there somebody out there? I mean, is there any, good wardrobe designer? I
might know someone who could do it.
Help! I'm looking for a little help here, okay?
Name's Edna Mode. She is a bit tough to deal with.
Okay, there is literally someone recommending Edna right away. Props the NSA actually doing that.
She won't come cheap.
You know what? I got a good question. How come the NSA, the National Supers Association, isn't paying for my action wear, huh?
Just remember to save your receipts.
I don't think you guys want me playing for any other team, do you?
Even though we're all very familiar with Elastigirl by this point, there's still some cool points of interest here. She was offered to lead a new superhero team called Heroes Incorporated and denied the offer, and was often romantically pursued by a lot of supers and kept shooting them down, preferring her freedom and independence. This further adds to the juxtaposition shown with her and Mr. Incredible during the opening interview of The Incredibles, how Bob wants to settle down and raise a family, whereas Helen is still constantly thinking about hero work, and how once they got married and raised a family together, they completely swapped priorities.
I actually missed that completely, but it's been so many years, maybe I just missed it because I was so much younger when this came out. 24, I was probably I was barely a teen at that point, shit.
This interview also marks the first time Elastigirl is taught about Edna Mode, sparking their partnership and leading to the creation of her classic suit we're all familiar with. Towards the end of the interview, she gets a bit feisty of the NSA about how they aren't paying for her damaged supersuits, which are costing her hundreds, potentially thousands of dollars to replace.
I look at a pack of shirts going, there's 3 of them in there for $10. I think that's too expensive. Having to spend hundreds of thousands in the 40s. Nope. That is a lot of money now. That many years ago, that's a lot more money. Hundreds, tens of dollars would be a lot of money then. This is not tens. This is way more than that. It's a couple zeros minimum.
Making what sounds like a small threat to play for a different team if this isn't sorted out for her. There's a couple of conclusions you can reach with a statement like this, but given the time period, and stay with me here, she's probably referring to the USSR. We've already seen with the disbanding of the Thrilling Three that superheroes and superhero groups were closely tied to the image of American patriotism, and given the Cold War technically commenced in the mid-1940s and before supers were banned, that gives this little threat a lot more weight. Now, I don't think Elastigirl was genuinely going to team up with the USSR if her suits weren't paid for, but I do think she was being cheeky and tried to light a fire under the NSA's ass so she wasn't forced to pay for suits that couldn't withstand her powers.
Yep. I mean, they did say they, save the receipts. Maybe they would actually pay for it. She's probably one of the best ones not to fuck everyone over, so I'd probably want to keep that on hand. Also, Darren, hence her being broke most of the time. Yeah. Good on the NSA, though, for actually even offering before she made the threat.
You see, when one is a superhero, there's a certain catalog of expectations.
Oh my god. Even from those few words, you know this guy. Everseer, power type, pretty strong. Intelligence, very high. Strength, no. Endurance, agility, indestructibility. Oh, yeah. Magnoscopic vision, microscopic and telescopic vision. Telepathy and clairvoyance. Weakness, mind-reading animals, especially squirrels. What? Squirrels? Why squirrel? Probably too simple or something. What? Team, Phantasmics, team leader. Obsessive compulsive germophobic, prefers to avoid physical contact, unmarried, shared therapist practice with Psychwave, author of Shut Up, Quieting Your Inner Voice, and Beware the Unseen Dangers of the Microscopic World. Oh, wow. He's got the genius paradox going on, where it's so incredibly smart that they probably loop around to being a dumbass.
That are incorporated with it, say, the physical appearance. Yes, I stay in shape. Yes, I have the colorful outfit that goes along with it. But you see, what is inside? The perception, the sensitivity, the foresight, and the psychic awareness are what is important and what makes us different. What makes us transcend mere knocking about. Yes, I can mix it up. Oh, I can fight with the rest of them. I can knock 3 people through walls if I have to, but...
Really? Because with that strength, unless that is a much higher bar than I thought, I'm kind of surprised if he could do that.
Why do that when through the process of the mind, you can avert conflict before it happens? I can make you perceive that I'm beating you up without even touching you.
He's basically... in no way, shape, or form should have ever been in a suit and just been the guy behind the camera or the guy behind the desk in any organization. Because most of his issues wouldn't come up in a business setting where he's just doing all the thinking. I guess telepathy might be more useful up close, and clairvoyance is probably just, woo? But seriously though, dude, like this is not just, those are pretty decent powers for someone who's a thinker. And it looks like he is the thinker. He is not doing the smart thing, even being in the dress, though.
Maybe our intellect. Quite.
Also, Todd, he just sounds like someone you want to punch. Kinda? And Pretty Guardian, my laugh, mentioned, reminds me of Monk the Detective. Same time frame. Oh, God, was this literally a Monk shout-out? Unironically, it could have been.
Frankly, there are a lot of things that come along with being a superhero, the whacking, the battering, that I find quite unpleasant. And frankly, it's the germs. They're everywhere, and they're so small and saliva.
Because he can literally see them, yeah.
Bits of bone and tooth. There's a lot of supervillains. Frankly, they're not clean people. They don't take care of their hygiene. I mean, you punch a mouth, and who knows what's on.
The Phantasmics. Leader, Everseer, telepathic contact to organize and direct team. Right there. Pretty powerful. Tactical. Macro burst. Wind control to transport team. Phantasmabolt and Macroblast. Physical attack. Psych wave. Mental attack. Oh, we had something about the psychiatrist, the Psych wave as well. Team headquarters. Secret mid-ocean location. Codename. New Atlantis. Effective operation. Around the clock. Notes. None.
You after that. If cleanliness is next to godliness, then...
Also, according to Horia, there's a theory Syndrome's Island being this guy's previous HQ.
Ungodliness is dirt.
Syndrome? I wonder if Syndrome had help, because this guy would have known all of Syndrome's plans immediately. Huh. Also, Brandon mentioned, Randy Newman made the Monk theme in Toy Story. You got a friend in me. Really? Actually didn't realize that. Holy shit.
I can deal with a messy psyche, but I cannot deal with a messy bathroom. I mean, why can't people just clean up once in a while? And
if you've ever been to a gas station bathroom, you can empathize with this guy. Unironically, yeah, I've been in a few places where I'm like, if I shit on myself right now, it would be cleaner than anything that would possibly happen in this entire room. I don't want to think about this anymore. I really don't. Oh, God.
And wipe a sink or they leave hair. Don't they see it? Don't they see the scum building up? I mean, it is just a nightmare.
You don't need telescopic vision to see what he's seeing. This is just there, man. I have seen it where it's like, oh, why'd you paint the toilet black?
That you walk into someone's bathroom and they have not touched it in months. With scrub and...
If you're lucky, it's only been months that they haven't touched it as opposed to anything else where they were adding to it.
Are we out of time?
Airier has a funny voice and I like him. Being part of one of the few successful superhero groups in this universe, the Phantasmics.
Oh, they were
I've noticed
successful.
with a decent number of heroes in these tapes is that some of them really aren't that strong. Downburst and Airier seem to fill more supportive roles than actually engaging in the crime fighting themselves. With
To be fair, if he's not limited by distance, very powerful.
Airier specifically relying on telepathy to avoid unnecessary violence and to reorganize the Phantasmics and coordinate an attack. I can't imagine he fared very well against the Omnidroid. Definitely wouldn't have lasted long, especially since he was—
Never mind, definitely not working with them. So he probably just never met directly is how he got around that. Yeah.
facing it alone without the rest of his team. I also greatly doubt that Syndrome was able to capitalize on its weakness because— I mean, read this for a sec. It's very—
Mind reading of squirrels. Or just physically not being weak against a robot that doesn't have a mind. At that point, it's just Syndrome killing a hero because why not?
very likely Airier died quickly. An interesting but non-canon tidbit here is that there was a line of Incredibles comics by Boom Studios that I also had no idea existed until recently. And before the comics were cancelled and the canonicity was thrown up in the air thanks to Incredibles 2, Airier foresaw his death at the hands of the Omnidroid years before it actually—
Oh, so when it comes to clairvoyance, it's utterly bullshit. As for you, I wonder, had I not removed the parts of the brain that allow free will and emotion, if you would be pleased at the accuracy of your predictions. I couldn't have done any of this without you, Airier. Oh, they made him a brain in a jar.
happened, and that when he was killed, his brain was preserved and was used by the main villain Zarek. That's about the extent of my knowledge regarding these comics, and what happens after this isn't known due to the comics cancellation, but I thought this was an interesting bit of trivia to add.
Frozone, who we know at least survived.
I've had some mishaps as Frozone.
Agility? Yeah. Intelligence? Pretty high. Endurance and strength? Eh. Power type? Nice. Indestructibility? Surprisingly good. We know about this part. Weakness, heat, and low humidity. Oh, less water. Personality. Former partners with Blaze-Stone. Romantically? Eh. Hot doggers. Why are they talking about food? Strong ties to Mr. Incredible. No formal team affiliation. Tried competing in Winter Olympics as Frozone. Rejected by IOC. Yeah, he probably just didn't bribe them enough. Yes, this is a direct dig at the IOC, and yeah, it is very accurate. They have done some utter bullshit, man. Almost on par with FIFA.
But generally, I've learned how to take, lemons and make lemonade.
Oh my God.
And I've been able to do some things for people that, possibly would have turned out quite badly had I not.
You could even say he's a pretty chill guy in his own.
Not been there. I've gone on vacations with friends of mine who were looking forward to a great ski vacation, and we got there, snow was melting. Hey, I was able to go out and make that happen. I'm like the human Zamboni.
God.
One day, I must have been, I don't know.
Unironically, he is probably the only person who could get away with an ice rink in his backyard if he didn't live in an apartment.
No, maybe.
And needed his super suit. Yes, I'm going to keep making that reference.
1.5, 2 years old, and I had a glass of Kool-Aid, and I really wanted a popsicle. And in my mind, I was thinking, popsicle, next thing I know, Kool-Aid was frozen in the glass. I was like licking it, and from that point on, anytime I wanted to freeze something, I just thought about it being frozen, and it was frozen. I was elated. I'm a superhero because...
Unironically, if there was enough water around him, he could make Arizona livable. Yeah. Mostly because there's not enough water that would never happen. Also, that's a legitimate problem, but that happened much later than the 40s, so I don't think it should be a problem for him yet. And Gavin, you got gifted a membership? Yep. There were a lot earlier today. And like, I'm still trying to process just how much that was added in. It's absurd. It's a legitimately absurd number.
That's who I am. You know, if it was possible, I would love to just tell the world who I am and let them know. But then I'd have no privacy.
Yeah.
There'd be, you know, babes lined up around my house. There'd be guys calling every day trying to ask for a super favor. You know how that is.
Nick Fury
Aside
yapping
from getting
Nico.
a recounting of the time
God.
Frozone discovered his powers, there's also an important detail here of his listed weaknesses. Heat and low humidity environments.
Yep.
Now, no shit, right? Obviously that's Frozone's weakness. He even says as much in the movie.
You can't run on ice. I thought you could use the water in the air. There is no water in this air.
And it would probably be pretty obvious to figure out that if you're going up against an ice-based superhero, that their weakness would probably be heat-related. However, the fact these are on the NSA files, and we've already established it's very likely Syndrome had these files, it adds more weight to the idea that the first Omnidroid fought by Mr. Incredible was not originally meant for him, but was instead meant for Frozone. Think about it, the first time we meet Mirage, she's specifically tailing Frozone and doesn't realize Mr. Incredible is with him until they save people from a burning building, where she tells whoever she's on the phone to switch targets to Mr. Incredible given Syndrome's obsession with him. It's like
Oh, yeah. Actually, I never even put that together. That would legitimately be a thing because it was a heat villain and he could deal with that because he isn't weakened by heat and a lack of water.
likely they didn't have the time to change the Omnidroid to accommodate for Mr. Incredible's strengths and weaknesses, which explains why the Omnidroid chases Mr. Incredible down to the lava, as that was the plan for Frozone. It would render his powers completely obsolete due to the extreme heat. Then there's also the fact that this Omnidroid's eyes are blue instead of the red that it has later on, and the fact Syndrome already had Frozone's location written down, and it all starts to click together.
Gamma Jack. Is that the one I think it is?
There's always going to be...
Oh god, this is one people told me was literally just Homelander. And I have no idea what time the boys comics came out, so it could literally just... Actually, I'm going to do the dirty and just look it up right now. I'm never going to refer to looking something up online as doing the dirty. That sounds like the absolute worst way to do it. That sounds like using Bing to do it. Which I'm not even sure is still around. Or just Google now. When did the boys comic come out? It's boys with a Z, I think. Okay, so according to AI, 2006, and according to Wikipedia, that would be 2006 to 2012. This would be 2 years after the initial Incredibles movie, so that's not a reference to him. In fact, he might actually predate Homelander, so I guess Homelander is a Gamma Jack.
A lot of collateral damage. There's lots of villains, and there's lots of villainous deeds going on at any given time. Part of my job is to prioritize which villains I'm going to combat.
Jeez. Personality, originally known as Handsome Jack. That is a choice. Did he happen to run a company? A favorite of the ladies, prone to tyrannical, megalomaniacal impulses, believes supers to be a superior race. Picky eater, NSA recommends close A-level monitoring. Oh, God.
So, I take a look around, I see if there's any...
Also, according to Nico, Homelander from the Boys comic is entirely different from the show. Huh. I don't know nearly enough about the differences, just that I know enough that I didn't really want to get into it.
good-looking women who need to be rescued immediately, and then I sort of start from there and work my way down the list.
Oh my God.
If you've got
he's just an ass.
Tubby Joe Schmo over there with a laser pointed at his head, and he might have to wait in line a little while. Yeah, I've fought my fair share of villains, and they all have their own unique challenges. They got their zombie monkeys and their giant laser robots and their super aquatic ninja pygmies. But
I'm sorry. Aquatic ninja pygmies. What the hell were villains doing in this universe?
Tell you, once in a while, the real kicker is I get these dames, man, these dame villains, and they got the curves and the hair and the big eyes, and boy, those ones, they're really, really hard to kill. Especially the ones that they come up and,
Those ones are hard to kill, so he still just ends up killing a lot of people. Controlled radiation bursts from focused burns to complete disintegration. Maximum range of high intensity bursts is 100 meters. Sharp intensity fall off over distance.
And they're looking at you, and you're looking at them, and you feel that simpatico, you know, like she's digging you, and you're digging her, digging you, and.
Oh my God, he's trying to hit on villains. It's like, but I gotta kill you now.
Boy, you really got to take a jog around the block real quick and, you know, sort of get your concentration back, compose yourself, because...
Think about baseball.
You know, you can't get distracted by these sort of thoughts when you're going up against a super villain. That's one of the hard parts of the jobs, you know, when you come across a dame who's really something to look at, and you just got to let her have it, because she's a villain.
Also, Golden, there's a popular theory that Gamma Jack is Jack Jack, who accidentally went back in time during the Golden Age of Supers, but obviously no one knows who he is. I would be very surprised about that, just because I don't think Disney would ever want one of their main characters to explicitly be this. Like, as a side character, sure. Who's dead? Sure, they can get away with it. I don't think Disney would ever allow that to be the twist. I think they would unironically, actively fire anyone who made that decision. Yeah. Maybe I'm wrong, but I don't think Disney would ever be okay with that.
Yeah, those are the bad days.
Holy God, a Gamma Jack is a piece of work, alright? This was the tape that convinced me to make this video in the first place, and it's probably the most known about and discussed tape of the bunch due to how obscenely out of pocket this guy is. Firstly, let's talk about Jack's powers.
Like, this is the guy who you look at and go, maybe Syndrome has a point. Except we've had a few people who are worse than that already.
Real quick. Controlled radiation bursts, from focused burns to complete...
And this would be right around the same time as nuclear weapons were a thing. So a lot of people would be, if he wasn't a fan favorite, I guess, in universe, oh man.
Disintegration. I really want to know how Jack even died to the second Omnidroid he fought, because he is incredibly overpowered and, given his personality, super dangerous. He can either choose to shoot you with a cancer ray or just straight up toss a nuke at you. Why would you even be a criminal in Metroville when this guy is running around? And what makes his powers more terrifying is just the kind of person Jack is. Not only does he sound like a chronic narcissist, but he's also...
Yeah! I mean, unironically, I was told that people thought he would be the villain of Incredibles 2. I'm assuming he wasn't then. Oh, and Cam, thank you very much for becoming a member for 7 months at the Go-To of Modern Evil. Hey, are you planning to check out more Lancer anytime soon? I would like to. Just need to get around to it, but I would love to do it more. Actually, we'll just do this. Adding in... The next poll is going to have double Zack tax.
He's just a bad person in general, choosing to prioritize women he finds most attractive in a dangerous scenario, and then...
But also being fine with killing people as well. It's like, you're pretty enough, I don't want to kill you. Still gonna kill you, though.
Working down the list, looking down at anyone he finds unattractive and saving them last. The NSA files also describe him as a super supremacist, believing that supers are a superior race, and that he's frequently prone to tyrannical...
I'm assuming he died to the second droid because Syndrome went all out on making sure he died. And frankly, we might have dodged a bullet on that one because that guy, he's basically, if Homelander had the same goals as the worst version of Magneto.
And megalomaniacal impulses. Couple this with the fact that he gets so down bad horny when encountering a female supervillain, and nonchalantly describes his frustration and difficulty with having to kill them, and the fact that unlike every other hero in these tapes, he is incredibly open about the fact that he just straight up kills people. I think we got a textbook psychopath in our hands here. I wasn't kidding with that jab at the start of the video. Gamma Jack is the closest thing the Incredibles universe has to Homelander.
But again, he's 2 years before Homelander, and considering how long it takes to make a Pixar movie, closer to 5 years before Homelander. There's a good chance, maybe, Homelander was because the author read this, or watched this on the... I have no idea how long the time frame to make a comic is now that I think about it, but yeah, it's been a while. Also, Nico mentioned Abaddon, been on KSBD for years now. Is that Kill 6 Billion Demons? I'm not entirely sure if that's the same one or not.
Scares the NSA so bad they have him under close A-level monitoring. There was a legitimate...
Which also means they would have known everything about him prior to Syndrome catching him. Yeah, or getting him to do something. So they probably knew about everything Syndrome was doing as well. Also, Narinjas, member for 19 months. God damn. Pulling this up. Wait, why isn't it pulling me up? Oh, it's over here. That's why. FYI, membership have 150 characters. Wait, really? Including spaces limit. Nice y'all doing well. P.S. I wish for more Fat Files electrician videos. Okay, Narinjas, if you have another request, I'd recommend not doing that one.
Risk that this guy...
Because that's already guaranteed for I think it'll be Thursday now. Yeah, these are the 2 guaranteed. So you're already going to get that. So you might want to choose something else. Cool option, though. And yes, it is 6 billion demons. Oh, nice. Aren't they the one doing the art for some of the stuff with Lancer as well? It looks very similar, but I'm not entirely sure. I did deep dive the entire lore for that one. It's pretty cool.
Guy could have become a supervillain later down the line.
I mean, are we entirely sure he just wasn't doing it already and just didn't want the publicity to be called a supervillain because his own personal arrogance? Because it kind of feels that way. Did I pause it? Oh, I paused it. Sorry, I thought I forgot to pause it. Oh, dude, that's embarrassing.
His name was Handsome Jack. I mean, you know what I'm gonna say. I'm honestly...
And again, Handsome Jack existed after this came out. At least I'm pretty sure I'm looking up a lot of timeline things in this one, aren't I? I just need to keep this open. When did Handsome Jack get created for Borderlands? All right, Handsome Jack, 2012. Yeah, it's not even close. Oh, it was Borderlands 2. For some reason, I thought he was always in the game because he's so synonymous with the franchise at this point. What if they only have 2 or 3 games at this point either? I don't actually know. Oh, man. Ooh, also, Delta, any chance we could do Boyle, Butcher, and Burn Cane? Hounds by Zactac? I wouldn't mind, but right now the one we have is a different one on the list. Actually, it'll be in the next poll regardless. So you'll have to double up on which of the Zactac videos you want to choose from.
Shocked it took Mr. Incredible saving a guy from killing himself and injuring a bunch of people in a train accident for the public to officially turn against heroes, when you had people like Gamma Jack running around.
He had the publicity of all of the wives liking him and all of the husbands going
around giving people cancer and likely leaving hundreds of people to die just because he's a massive whore.
I mean, would you want to piss off the guy who can give you cancer? Yeah, I think if it was him who did it, he might have actually just started something.
Dog. Any so-called...
Actually, unironically, if they ever reboot this, he should be the reason because he does something.
Superhero who describes civilian casualties as collateral damage is a massive red flag. And honestly, as bad as this might sound, I'm kind of bummed they killed him off in the first movie. There is so much...
I mean, there's an easy way to get around this. He didn't actually die. Or someone had revival powers. Or it was a clone. Or Syndrome lied. Yeah, there's a lot of ways you can get around this. Why? I don't know. Or maybe someone lied to Syndrome and he didn't actually die. He got out somehow. He thought Mr. Incredible was dead, so it's not the first time he's been wrong.
Potential for Gamma Jack.
Or did that happen? Now I'm trying to remember if I'm remembering this correctly or if I'm misremembering it, considering it's me. According to Duck, there are 5 games, 1, 2, prequel, 3, 4, and if you want to count the Tales series, 7 games, and Tiny Tina's Wonderland, which I think I got on sale for like $3 years ago and I just never played. Don't know why.
Jack as a villain, while it's very wishful thinking, I kind of want Incredibles 3 to focus on him if they find some way to bring him back. I mean, it's not entirely impossible he's dead. Remember, Mr. Incredible managed to evade being detected by Syndrome after his defeat, and the system had him classified.
Oh, hey, I was right. That's twice now, I think, in this video, where I've said something and wasn't wrong. This feels weird.
Just terminated. So what if Gamma Jack did survive? What if he tries to start a superhero revolution in the 3rd movie? It won't happen, but I like thinking about the missed potential sometimes.
I mean, they already have the rights to Marvel, where that's a plotline that's been heavily covered, to the point where I think they're trying to move away from doing that with Marvel characters. So they have the plotline already in their back pocket. Yeah. Who's going to sue them? The people they already own the licenses for? Also, Delta, if the series Zactac had finished, if you want to watch it chronologically, start with Ogre. After all, there's 7 of them, 8 if you count the one you already seen. Might very well end up doing that, depending on chat. Gazer Beam, who we actually saw the body of in canon.
I think the question I get asked the most is what happened with the Thrilling 3. It was working fine for me. I have no problem working in groups. I think we were very...
Shoots intense laser blast from his eyes. Vision intensity focuses lensing and containment. Oh, it's a containment helmet. Oh. So he's basically Cyclops. Got it. Except not just glasses, it's a helmet. Transportation. The Thrilling 3 chopper. Motorcycle with 2 sidecars. Weakness. Reflective surfaces. Team affiliation, Thrilling 3, now disbanded. Weak night vision, needs glasses for night driving. Oh. Secret identity, inner city pro bono lawyer. No sense of humor. I'll be completely honest there. That's by default the most heroic thing I can imagine. And there's no way he could ever actually have a secret identity. Oh, God. Also, Dog, have you seen what they're doing for a new movie? I have no idea about the new movie because I didn't know about it until now. I didn't know there was a second movie, let alone a third one they're working on. All of this is new to me. Actually, how old is this video? 1 year old. July 20. Oh, that's almost exactly 1 year old by 2 days. Shit. Oh, yeah. I mean, it's movies. They take a long time, but okay. Cyclops X Daredevil? Todd? Yeah, he's Cyclops Daredevil. He can still see. He just probably has to act like he's blind so he doesn't shoot people. Huh. Good to know. Seriously, though, pro bono lawyer in the inner city right after Prohibition. Right after World War II. That's a thing, all right.
Very successful. I think at times we may have been among the best, but a team is just that, a team. And then any time you take individuals and you put them in a contained environment, they tend to react like oil and water sometimes, or
a lawyer with humor
and chocolate. Although peanut butter and chocolate does taste good together, so that's actually a bad example.
This was pre-Reese's, wasn't it? Valerian, what's bono? Oh, pro bono means working for free. This is a lawyer who went into the inner city after World War II, after Prohibition, where organized crime skyrocketed, working for free. This is a lawyer who the price you paid was, I just did the job, you're fine. Yeah, that's insane. For example, some firms, to give you an idea, require new people hired into a firm to do so many hours of pro bono work to basically build up the credibility of the firm for other reasons. And there's a ton of it. Sometimes it's literally just PR reasoning so that people know about them, get their name out. And also, what I've heard is basically hazing the new guy.
Quite enjoy that. I think the thing I get asked about the most, of course, is my laser vision. People tend to think it's a real picnic to have eyes that shoot lasers, but believe it or not, it's had its disadvantages. If I look at anything too intently, it tends to burst into flames, which can be a real pickle in a relationship scenario.
So functionally, he's Daredevil because he has to blind himself. Jeez.
You're conversing with somebody, a normal person would be able to look them square in the eye. I avert my gaze, which is often interpreted as disinterest.
Yeah, actually, explicitly, if you're not meeting someone's eyes. For example, if I was doing this, and I occasionally do remember to actually look at the camera and not the wrong one, then it's much more impactful because, I'm talking to you, the people watching this right now. As opposed to when I'm doing this, like, oh yeah, we're doing this, we're doing that. I just get focused on whatever I'm doing. But when you're talking to someone and you then intentionally do not look at them when you're talking to them, video, fine. But it's more impactful when you make the contact. When you're talking to someone IRL one-on-one, and then you start looking away while you're talking to them, it's like, oh yeah, we're doing the thing. It's disinterest. It's actively something people don't like. And it has been brought up in other forms of media, such as the Dresden Files, explicitly saying the main character has an offsetting precedent by looking around main character or other characters' eyes rather than at them. Because it is psychologically a what the fuck are you doing moment.
Rather daft or stupid, which couldn't be farther from the truth. I'm a man of culture, a man of passion, and I would say a man of...
I love the fact that he describes himself as a man of passion while doing the most monotone voice you can imagine while talking about what he's doing, but legitimately talking about things that are problematic and how he's going out of his way not to hurt people. This guy is legitimately kind of amazing.
Humor, which is not widely known. On the outside, I appear calm and cool, perhaps even collected, but on the inside, I'm guffawing away on the steamship of hilarity. I'm not sure if that made very much sense.
I see why he's known to not have humor. He just has a bad sense of it. He's very contained, but he's also literally contained. Ugh.
Firstly, I didn't expect Gazerbeam's voice to be that deep, my goodness. And secondly, yeah, Gazerbeam's kinda dull. He seems like a super nice guy and everything, but the NSA writing down that he has no sense of humor is probably the funniest thing in—
This sounds like when you have the most, oh god, I've been an accountant for how many years person trying to tell a joke is like, yeah, it was funny. And then we did the thing, and yeah, it worked out. Except with even less panache than what I just did.
these tapes. It's interesting to hear him talk about the Thrilling Three in comparison to Apogee though. Apogee seemed to be very frustrated with the fact Gazerbeam seemed to take the spotlight after he replaced Dynaguy, and how they weren't much of a team at all after Dynaguy died. You throw in the fact that Apogee's powers made her useless during the night and the possibility that the Flange was losing his powers over time, and it becomes clear they just didn't work well together and it led to the team disbanding. Gazerbeam on the other hand was completely unaware anything was wrong, not due to ego or denial or anything, but because he just isn't great with people. This can also be seen in the file for the Phantasmic, since Gazerbeam actually used to be a member of the team but left due to him and Everseer not seeing eye to eye. I find all of these details about his character—
Yeah. That would be very interesting in its own right. Also, Necro, he reminds you of Armsmaster from Worm? No, this guy's way less arrogant. And Armsmaster would never do pro bono work. There's no way, especially early on.
Character fascinating, especially because in the movie we don't really know much about Gazerbeam other than he used to be friends with Bob, advocated for the restored legality of superheroes after they were outlawed, and was probably the most important player in Syndrome's downfall when he carved a password to the computer in the wall. Honestly, the more I learn about Gazerbeam, the more upset I get about his death. Incredibles 2 had a deleted memorial service scene for him that also provided a decent backstory for him.
So he didn't even contain his eyes outside of this, so he just had to constantly not look at people and never focus on anything, so he always had to explicitly dull his eyes and like try and blur them so he doesn't have to focus. So it'd be like, hey guys, yeah, we're just doing the thing. And it'd be very hard to focus and read things. Oh god, if he tried to read a book, he'd probably light the book on fire.
He was encouraged to be a superhero by Mr. Incredible, Frozone, and Gamma Jack. What the fuck are you hanging around him for? And how he really—
Good PR. He probably had really good PR.
struggled to integrate back into civilian life, given he was already a societal outcast and struggled with fitting in. It makes his death specifically pretty heartbreaking.
Probably because he went in with the same reason that Mr. Incredible would have. A way to break the, oh god, what is going on with my life? Hypershock.
Hey, how you doing? I'm Hypershock. So I have seismic wave generator.
Okay, I need to ask right now, but does anyone else listen to this guy and go, he sounds like he's coming off of something? Maybe it's the face of someone going like, but I'm just looking at all I can hear is he's either hungover or there are some substances that have just run their course. Oh, God. Bad temper requires lots of praise. Oh, I remember we saw a bit of this one before. Fun is for drink. Oh, never mind. He's literally hungover.
Which is ability to create earthquake-like disruptions in the ground to stop the bad guys.
There's a guy who's frequently drunk who causes earthquakes, and I'm assuming this is around California. Oh, shit.
Guys, with my dual seismic amplification hammers and one on each hand. No, I did not buy them at the hardware store, haha. Fly around with my vector thrust fusion rocket rucksack getting from place to place, and my powers enter effectual and non-solid materials, but if I can get a 6.0 on the Richter scale, I can generally stop whoever's out there and...
I'm sorry. His entire process was, if I can cause a 6.0 Richter scale earthquake, I can stop someone. Yeah! And anything else! To give you ideas, the Richter scale is not a stepladder, it's logarithmic. A 2 is 10 times as strong as a 1. A 6 is, oh god, what the fuck? A 7 is things are horrible. To give you an idea what a recent really bad one was, I'm going to look up the Fukushima-related earthquake. For anyone wondering, this was the, oh god, what the hell, 2011 thing. It was a 9.0. He's 3 steps under that, which is only about, what, 1,000 times weaker. But that's horrible. Famous 6.0. Wow, why did I put a slash there? I can't spell. Yeah. Peru in 2001, 8.4. Jeez. Like, these are all legitimately horribly strong earthquakes. That's, especially in California of all places, which is on a fault line, unless they've changed that in the Incredibles universe. Although I am just assuming this is all taking place in California because that's where some of the other plotline happened. For all I know, he might have been in other less seismically active areas.
We got to talk about this. Hang on. Hey, Irv. Hey. Where's Irv? Coffee. Hello. I need some coffee. Very nice. No, I don't.
He broke out just to get someone in there to get him coffee while he's being interviewed.
Don't want tea. I want coffee and put some aspirin in it or something. How about coffee made from aspirin? You know?
Because he's hungover, he has a bad temper, and he needs coffee made with aspirin. If that doesn't already exist, I would be very surprised. And where this guy kills the bad guy and is there in one go. Yeah, and depending on where he's at, a lot worse. Also, Magatar. Wait, is 6.8 considered much in the USA? Over here, it's pretty casual. It depends where it's at and how the construction around it is built. For example, I think it was only a 5 or a 6 in Haiti that absolutely fucked up the country because the construction wasn't built to stand up to that. So it was devastating in a way that if this happened in California, it probably wouldn't be that bad. Now, here's the thing. California is built with the idea of there's going to be bad earthquakes. A lot of the structures are heavily regulated to survive incredible shakes. The problem with an earthquake in California is it's on the San Andreas Fault, which if that goes, oh fuck, it is the third worst location in America where an earthquake could really fuck up the world. The first being the fault by Seattle, and the second being Yellowstone, the active supervolcano. You know, the one that would probably enter the next ice age if people survive to it. That's fun.
No, you people, you just don't do your homework. And look at this. What is this? Cheap. Spend a little money on your gear if you're going to have a super in here, okay? And you, who are you? You know, I could be out solving crime at the very least. We're solving this hangover. Ow! Oh.
Now,
yeah, he's
obviously,
hungover.
It would be unrealistic to expect a movie as surprisingly grounded in reality as The Incredibles to not have a couple of sour superheroes walking around who aren't exactly the best people. And while it's very tough to top Gamma Jack in this department, Hypershock is a bit concerning. The tape being recorded while he's suffering from a really bad hangover doesn't help, but the fellas pointing out that he has a really bad temper and likes to drink often are not exactly qualities you'd like to have in someone who will be attempting to save your life, given a number of—
with an earthquake, which are usually, and tell me if I'm wrong, not good at discriminating against targets. It's more like individual areas that like to not be existing.
casualties Gamma Jack has more than likely caused than a number of people he's refused to save. I don't think it's out of the question to suggest that Hypershock may have been drunk on the job at many points, and I wouldn't be surprised if anyone being saved by Hypershock found themselves a little uncomfortable due to his explosive temper.
Yeah.
Macroburst audio file incomplete. Damage during mission.
Oh, that's interesting. High velocity wind generation, airborne through wind propulsion, weakness, claustrophobic. Small places, so they probably killed him by just putting him in a really tight space. In other words, they backroomed him. Strength, little. Power, hard. Endurance, very strong. Intelligence, lower but not bad. Agility, very. Indestructibility, surprisingly high. Team affiliation, Fantasmic Supplies Group. Transportation. Prior to Fantasmic, served as sidekick to Everseer, referred to as the Kid. So he joined up with Everseer and already worked him for a while prior to becoming a team. Okay. Dude. And Duck, it's about to be 4 for you, Airier? I'm not sure what you're talking about. Oddly androgynous due to constant wind disruption, is obsessed with maintaining her hairstyle. Oh. Kind of an odd thing, just to be obsessed with hair.
Audio file for Macroburst mission recovered, but determined incomplete by NSA Division Delta.
Macroburst is the first interview to be completely missing, and something about hearing all of the previous interviews in full and suddenly being hit with
Macroburst audio file incomplete. Damage during mission.
Makes this entire thing much...
During a mission? Why would they have a file during a mission? That's an odd thing to say.
Airier. I don't really know how to describe it. As for Macroburst themselves, are described as oddly androgynous and their gender was rather ambiguous. Not even the NSA could determine if they were male, female, or NB. Not much is known about them besides the fact that they were the first hero to destroy an Omnidroid, but would inevitably fall victim to the second version.
Metaman.
Audio file for Metaman found missing.
There's going to be more than one missing. Also, power? Yes. Strength? Yes. Endurance? Yes. Intelligence? Not very high. Agility? High. Indestructibility? Oh. All punch? Not much punch back. Flight? Super strength? X-ray vision? Sonic scream? Teleportation? Magnetic manipulation? Partial invisibility? Able to communicate with the... He's the Justice League. Without the durability. He's literally just the Justice League. Oh my god. Indecisive, deeply committed to hero work, compassionate, has requested to be metagroup leader overseeing all superhero teams. Request put under NSA review. Died in action. Suit malfunction. He was the one who died with the airplane, isn't he? My wife is just shouting in the other room, no capes! Yeah. And yeah, glass cannon indeed. I'm pretty sure he's the one who died with the cape sucking him into the jet. And since he has everything else except durability, the plane got him.
Soon confiscated during surprise attack by Baron von Ruthless.
Metaman's file is also missing, but there's actually a decent amount here. For one thing, Metaman was also shown as one of the many heroes who died due to a cape malfunction as shown in the first movie, which is a shame.
Not the guy in the plane, he was the guy in the elevator shaft.
Because looking at his stats, he seemed absolutely cracked. 3 out of 4 bars maxed out, 1 nearly there, and only suffering in intelligence and indestructibility. This would suggest...
Honestly, if he had the intelligence, he might not have had a cape and been fine.
That Metaman might have been one of the strongest heroes on the planet. Look at how many powers this guy had. Flight, super strength, X-ray vision, teleportation, magnetic manipulation, partial invisibility, and could even communicate with aquatic mammals. That's a massive hodgepodge of powers to throw into...
Again, he is literally the main powers that people are the most famous for, other than Superman's durability, from the DC Justice League. Aquatic animals, Aquaman. Teleportation, invisibility. I mean, if he had mind reading, he would basically be Jean right there. Like, there's so much here, man. That's just... Yeah.
One guy. He's like a Superman Swiss Army knife. In fact, it's likely he was considered by many to be this universe's equivalent to Superman and seemed to genuinely be committed to hero work. If any other hero...
Really? I honestly thought it was Mr. Incredible. Or was he like the one thought that in universe prior to Mr. Incredible becoming a thing? Maybe.
But asked the NSA if they could oversee all of the current superhero teams, I think they would have been shut down. The fact the NSA were considering it shows just how much they trusted him. The reasoning for the file being missing is that it was apparently stolen by Baron von Ruthless, a notorious supervillain in the world of the Incredibles and the sworn enemy of Metaman.
Impossible. Baron von Ruthless does not make errors. I wonder how that guy reacted to his nemesis dying to an accident.
So notorious, in fact, that there was even a time where Frozone got caught by him and managed to escape due to Ruthless's habit of monologuing, which, if you don't remember, is the story Lucius recounts to Bob near the start of the movie.
What does Baron von Ruthless do?
He starts monologuing.
He starts monologuing. I mean, the guy has me on a platter, and he won't shut up.
I think if Metaman had lived beyond his cape malfunction, Syndrome probably would have been cooked, right? Like, I just don't see how he would have died to the Omnidroid.
Probably wouldn't have, actually. I mean, unless they did something to just take advantage of the lack of durability, which is what got him.
You know, some superheroes, they pay attention to their look when they're first...
Power type is minimal, really. Strength, endurance, intelligence is actually rather high. Agility, indestructibility, yeah. He's the other half of Superman, the indestructible part, which probably is the more important one. Mega strength, near invulnerability, ability to sense imminent danger. Really? Oh. Didn't know that part. incredible MEV car with onboard weaponry, danger finder, evasion, countermeasures. Oh, incredible MEV car. Oh, part of his car. For his power set, they just included his vehicle because it's so bullshit. Oh my god. Easily distracted, inability to set priorities, extreme possessive of NSA-supplied incredible. Won legendary eating contest with Thunderhead at NSA picnic, eating 47 boysenberry pies, 8 banana cream pies, 3 apple grums, and a liter. Why would you eat a liter of mayonnaise? Nickname around the NSA, Mr. Incredible. Or Mr. Indibble. Mr. Inedible. I'm sorry. A liter of mayonnaise. Okay.
Breaking in, but then they get a little.
Also, I'm being pointed out by Croc there were other heroes with equipment listed. Yeah, I just didn't focus on them because I forgot.
A little notoriety, they get a little sloppy. I mean, I don't want to, name names, but okay, the Flange. You remember the Flange? Oh, Flange. I mean, I love that guy. Hey, Flange, I love you, and I'm not talking out of school here, but the outfit, come on. I mean, he wore that out. I mean, he didn't even have it cleaned. He had schmutz on it from other battles that he'd fought, and he actually worked on his signature yodel for a year.
I'm sorry, he yodeled? Okay. Also, Necro, Mr. Incredible's danger sense is how he sensed that the bomb went off after he saved the guy from jumping. Oh. Okay. And Magnetar, Mr. Incredible's danger sense is danger to anyone nearby, just not himself. Oh, okay. And Tara mentioned if capes are a must, make sure they have functionality of turning into basically a short trench coat to avoid snagging. Ooh, NA, top. Upgrade membership to GoTeam Mod or Evil. Thank you very much, man.
A superhero yodel. If you can grasp that, I mean, yeah, I'd see him occasionally. We'd be at the same catastrophe. And he would come up to me, hey, Mr. I.
Also, Bill, I'm just going to read your comment because if I have to see this, everyone else has to as well. True self-care is taking a bath in Mountain Dew. He's dad, body isn't just exercising. This man can eat. Wait. If he was eating all of that back when he was in his prime, what the hell is he? Oh, it's literally just stress weight, isn't it? Huh. Cortisol's a bitch, man.
I've been working on it. What do you think? I mean, is that disgusting or what? God. Pull yourself together, Brother Flange. You're representing something here. It was embarrassing. It was a waste of time. And quite frankly, it was denigrating to the profession. Kids cannot look up to a yodeler.
What I find most interesting about Mr. Incredible's file here is not just the acknowledgement from the NSA that he was extremely possessive over the Incredibile, something that would become way more obvious in Incredibles 2 when he found out it was being sold at an auction.
They said it was... That's my car!
But also this little bit of info here. Ability to sense imminent danger. Now, I had no idea this was an actual power Mr. Incredible
would have been dead fucking handy during this scene. People clarified to me that was something that only happened to others, not himself.
Had until now. I thought he was just super strong and hard to take down, but apparently he had an uncanny ability to sense imminent danger.
Yeah. Wait, that means he's more of the Spider-Man of the Incredibles universe for the strength and the durability. Yes, Spider-Man was actually pretty durable, just not DC levels Superman durable. Although I guess he's pretty close to that.
Alone recontextualizes a lot, like the scene with Bon Voyage for example. I thought he just heard the beeping of the bombs, but from the distance he was at it had to have been almost impossible, so he probably just sensed that something was wrong before getting closer and finally being able to actually hear them. And then there's also what this adds to him in general when he has to go into hiding. Bob's midlife crisis will likely have been worsened because of this power, constantly being able to sense imminent danger happening and the frustration he feels knowing he can't do anything about it without risking him or his family's safety and security and breaking the law. If I was given the ability to sense any kind of danger before it happens, and I was forced to do nothing about it for the rest of my life when I know I can be the difference maker would probably drive me insane. It's no wonder Bob found it hard to settle down like Helen did. He's got a stranger danger whistle going off in his head every time he walks down the street. Christ.
It actually makes it a lot weirder that he canonically in the movies wanted to settle down initially, considering his entire power means that he just can't. Also, Croc, I underestimate Spidey's full strength. I'm pretty sure he's one of those, oh god, how are you actually this strong characters who intentionally holds back to not murder everyone, and is only overshadowed by people like the DC side of Superman, who is as strong as you need, depending on the writer.
What an agonizing 15 years that must have been.
The flange. Oh god, the yodeler.
I'll be happy to answer any questions you have. I just, it's...
Sonic field voice projection, and he's losing his voice. You can even hear that in the audio for him. That sounds like it's breaking down. Sonic feedback, laryngitis. Transportation, the thrilling 3 chopper motorcycle with 2 sidecars. He looks like Robin from the old TV shows, like the live action ones. Team affiliation, thrilling 3. Demands respect he doesn't earn. Selfish. Never embraced by the public. Quit thrilling 3 because he saw the team as Gazer Beam's gang. Discovered power while selling peanuts at ballparks. Secret identity, opera singer. Okay. Was not expecting the last part, but okay.
It's kind of off day for me. I blew out the pipes. I was trying to seal off this thing that came out of the water. The villains, they always got those bases and stuff. So the funny thing is I blew out my pipes by blowing out the pipes. You know what I'm saying? It's a little joke, the play on words. Yeah, well, the thrilling 3. What can I say? That was a good idea. I mean, I'm not sure I really know what happened. People blame me and they say there were these, conflicts. Excuse me. A little dry, but I don't know what they're talking about. I mean, Gazer Beam and I got along fine. Excuse me, I'm having a little trouble.
Yeah, there was a comment earlier about him losing his power over time. I think that was made by chat. Yeah, the guy basically just lost his voice. He's barely going to be super if he can't talk.
It was a democratic situation.
Oh, he's actually getting harder to listen to the entire time this guy's going.
It was good. I don't know what people are saying. Excuse me.
Massive props to the voice actor being able to pull this off. This is very hard to hear. Like, legitimately, it sounds like he's barely able to even make a sound at this point. It's making me thirsty just listening to it because, like, oh god.
I like Gazer Beam. He was a good guy. Excuse me.
This entire section ends with him just not being able to speak, huh? How much is he drinking?
Flange was one of the more unpopular superheroes with the public, struggling a lot with the fact that he was never embraced by them and desperately wanting to...
Oh, my cat's meowing.
Despite this...
Audio issues? Yeah.
He was still a part of the Thrilling 3 with Apogee and Gazer Beam, but would eventually leave thinking Gazer Beam was the only one of them actually doing anything and them all not really working well as a team. And he wasn't...
To be fair, with a certain lady in the middle right here, he might have dodged a bullet on that one.
Exactly wrong about that, given Apogee was rendered useless by nightfall, and Flange's voice was regularly getting blown out due to his powers and him being hit with laryngitis, which...
Oh, so he actually blew out his own voice multiple times. I thought the joke about blowing out the pipes was blowing out the pipe. He was blowing out as just being loud. No, it means actually losing his voice from using it. Oh. And it sounds like the laryngitis never stopped.
Made him pretty much useless at every time of day. Gazer Beam was the only one of them who could consistently fight crime at every hour of the day, and I think Apogee and Flange both resented that in a way, unaffectionately calling the group Gazer Beam's gang before disbanding it. Flange would later die to the second version of the Omnidroid, either due to his damaged vocal cords or from Syndrome capitalizing on his weakness to Sonic.
I mean, does he even need to capitalize on it? It sounds like the guy was basically self-neutered at that point.
Feedback.
Audio file for Plasma Bolt erased inadvertently due to Plasma Bolt's electromagnetic aura.
Yeah.
Scheduled to re-record.
Despite Plasma Bolt's file being missing and me not really having much to say about her because of that, it's worth mentioning that she is one of the only heroes featured on these tapes, heroes who died by cape malfunctions notwithstanding, to have not been confirmed dead. This is a tricky one because
plasma wave emission, electromagnetic energy captured by antennae, really? Transferred through hands, flies using high tensile draconic fiber, reinforced acrylumium wings, team affiliated with Phantasmics, obsessed with the outdoors, secret identity, forest ranger. Yeah, that makes sense. Adamant about separating hero and civilian identities. Oh.
It's very possible she was also targeted and killed by Syndrome, but when Mr. Incredible is searching through the files, she never once shows up as being terminated. It's worth mentioning that there are multiple cuts in this scene, either to show Bob's reactions to finding out many of his friends and fellow supers have been killed while the computer is still showing him off screen.
And you can see that based on the light brightening as it changes out.
Or to cut back to Helen and Edna. It's very possible that Plasma Bolt could have shown up on the computer off screen, but nothing has been confirmed. It certainly makes more sense for her to be dead in my eyes, since she would have been the only surviving member of the Phantasmics, but the possibility of her survival is still there.
Psych wave. This is the one they mentioned also had the same therapist. And for the team that apparently was more successful, that must have been one hell of a therapist.
So in high school, that's when I realized I had the ability to possess other people, to send.
Oh. Also, that is the most 50s hair I've ever seen, or like 40s. Like, yeah, I've seen that style on, I think, my grandma a few times. Power type? Strong. Strength? Nope. Endurance? Intelligence? Yes. Agility and indestructibility? No. Mental force wave generation, temporary mental paralysis, 30 seconds effectiveness. So just saying nope to someone for 30 seconds. Oh, damn. Ability to possess another's body. Weakness, own body vulnerable while possessing another's body. Does she die if her body is taken over? Or does she just get the new body at that point? Personality, team affiliation, Phantasmics, founding member of the Phantasmics, former psychologist with Everseer. Oh. Frustrated by clients' inability to solve their own problems. Occasional paranoid tendencies. Oh, she was the psychologist for Everseer. Ooh. And she sounds very substance engaged with at the moment.
And psychic waves to other people to get them to do things that I really wanted them to do. I had a crush on the quarterback of the football team who was also my best friend's boyfriend. I psych waved him into asking me to the homecoming dance and breaking up with Shelley.
But that just... Oh, she's a psycho. She literally just mind controlled someone by possessing their body to say the thing to her. Was she able to control her own body at the same time? She says her body's vulnerable, not that it's not controlled. But why would she need to control them to asking her out if she's not even conscious? Or is she conscious and controlling both?
And the more I practiced it, the shorter amount of time it took. You know, I could just sort of look at someone or look at a picture or see them passing by. And
just a picture. Oh, she wasn't range limited. Oh. Nico mentioned she's female Purple Man from Marvel. Honestly, Purple Man's terrifying because he just gives a command and it just does it. She can do it through a picture. That's way stronger than Purple Man. Like, that's... If she was going full villain in a movie, if they did her straight as how terrifying she could be, that's... Yeah. Also, according to Terrence, she didn't possess him. She straight up brainwave mind controlled him. Oh, okay. I thought the possession was what they were talking about. There was the mind control instead. But if they can mind control someone through a picture... I think Everseer is probably the only reason she probably didn't go villain, because they're smarter than her and could read her mind. So even though he's being controlled, they could read what she's about to do.
think this thought or this action or whatever, and it would just happen. Never really used it to harm people, except for all those girls I made the guys break up with because I wanted to date them. Kind of freaky, actually.
She's aware it's freaky. And she harmed multiple people to get their boyfriends. Unironically, this is one of the more scary examples of mind control being actively used. And without line of sight, just, I have a picture of you. Congratulations. I wonder if the entire island base is to get her away from people.
Psychwave is a fucking freak. I wasn't kidding earlier when I said there were some pretty disturbing supers in this universe, and Psychwave is definitely one of them. I really want to know the limitations of her powers, because she's able to possess anyone she wants through either looking at them or looking at a picture of them. Like, that is just insane to me. Not to mention how gleefully she's talking about how she would just randomly practice possessing other people to do her bidding, to the point of—
to make it go faster. And people are pointing out in the chat, it's not possessing she was doing, it was just flat out mental control. Although maybe I'm misreading that one.
Possessing multiple guys to have them break out with their girlfriends simply because she wanted to date them instead, including her best friend's boyfriend, by the way. Psychwave is absolutely unhinged. And
she's basically the mean girl who somehow didn't hit the worst possible outcome, despite doing everything that could possibly lead to that.
She's paranoid does not surprise me. Recounting all of this stuff with a smile and looking back on it while laughing is just peak sociopath to me. She is.
And also probably paranoid because they know what they did to people. Why wouldn't people do it back?
Sick.
If Syndrome is one of the reasons she died, we think we could add this into maybe he did the world a favor category.
In the head. There is some debate as to whether or not she survived the Omnidroid, despite being shown that she was terminated. The official Incredibles wiki states that Syndrome
never actually found the body, similar to Mr. Incredible. And it's entirely possible she just... if she could get a picture of someone, if she knew what they looked like, for all we know, she just made Syndrome say she was eliminated because she could just control people. Honestly, if she just had ever... Sears' version of understanding with like clairvoyance and mind reading, unironically, that would be the most it's a good thing ever Sears had, because if she possessed him, it would be undeniably fuck this. And Magtar, none of her powers worked against robots. Normally I'd agree with you, but then there's this line. And if she could just possess someone else's body by thinking about it, and maybe just kept it. I don't actually know.
Never found her body, but I can't for the life of me find a detail that confirms that. So as far as I know, that crazy bitch is dead.
And if we're lucky, Syndrome did the job well. And Lost Media just mentioned, again, a sentence rarely used, thank you, Syndrome. And Todd going, made him think she was dead. Yeah, because she was a villain. That is a very dark movie. Very fast, because if you don't tone down her power for it, you're going to have to confront a lot of really hard things. Such as, how the hell do we win this? And you have to go into a fight where it's not actually a fight. You have to talk them down. You have to talk down the paranoid mind controller.
Splashdown audio file irretrievable due to water damage.
The tapes are magnetic. Fiercely independent, obsessed with finding lost city of Atlantis. Secret identity, oceanographer. Okay. Missing in action, suspected suit malfunction. Why would he have... I'm assuming suit malfunction means a random spam message. It just means something with a cape. And Hoyer. She, Gamma Jack, and one other hero later have high chance that they survived and could have teamed up for a later storyline. Hoyer? That would be fascinating if it did happen that way. And not entirely possible with some of them.
Splashdown's recording is missing, and aside from being another cape victim, I'm good just
moving it was
on to the
capes.
next one. There's not much to say here.
Yeah. Stormicide.
There's vapors, kind of gases in the air, and I can take them in. I'm kind of like a sponge in that way. I emit them however I want. I can emit your
Fly, power, vapor emissions. Excellent multitasker, caretaker. Okay, we saw this one earlier, yeah, in the opening part.
oxygen. I could emit carbon
Sensitive to
dioxide,
criticism.
carbon monoxide, whatever you need. It really depends on the situation. Say there's a fire, and I gotta save people or whatever. Basically, I can take the oxygen out of the air, and that stops the fire. On the other hand, if there's a bad guy, I just emit the oxygen, and the fire gets a little crazier, and then, bad guys smoked. It's kind of awesome. Because
She's talking around killing people. Also, if you remove the oxygen, the bad guy just stops breathing and usually stops doing things.
all about gas emissions. Yes, I have been the butt of many jokes. Maybe it's just because I'm too... What? What? Oh, I said butt. I said butt.
Butt emitting gas.
It's a good time. See, this is exactly what I'm talking about. I've got powers. They involve gases. What do you want?
Stormicide seems like one of the cleaner superheroes in this world, honestly. I could make some juvenile jokes about her powers, but they already did that for me.
Yeah. Hey, there had to be someone easy there. And generally, she's the one who did look kind of nice about it.
And they're also just genuinely pretty cool. What I found the most tragic about her, though, was the fact that she was studying chemistry and fighting crime while caring for her ailing uncle. If that uncle was still alive by the time Syndrome found her, then it's likely he was left alone without a caretaker and probably died alone without anyone around to keep him fed or medicated, which is genuinely pretty heart-shattering to think about.
I mean, there's a good chance that the NSA was watching, so maybe they did get someone on that. Although, they did lose a lot of files, so... Stratogale.
Stratogale's mission audio file deemed incomprehensible. Suspecting...
She's probably the one who died of the bird, right? Or not the bird, the plane. Deeply altruistic, secret identity, high school student, weekend zoo volunteer in bird hatchery, loves to fly, keeps her head in the clouds and her feet on the ground. She died in action, suit malfunction, another cape.
Their faulty recording equipment or a high level of ambient wind noise.
Today I found out that Stratogale was a teenager. You know, the character in The Incredibles that got caught by her cape and sucked into a jet turbine. Literally shredded to death. Yet, she was just a teenager apparently, which, Jesus Christ. It is harder when you read her file and realize that she was genuinely a really sweet person. She communicated with birds, for God's sake. Some part of me thinks that Stratogale's death stuck with Edna the most out of all of the heroes who died from cape malfunctions. It's very easy to view Edna as the funny and tactless character that she is, but as...
Yeah, and she is. But also... she's very rarely, I don't think in any way, ever, shape, or form, shown as being wrong. Unironically, she's the one who is the most right and had the evidence to prove it.
Funny as her whole no cape spiel is, it's clear she's vehemently against capes for a damn good reason. If a suit I designed resulted in the death of a teenager, I would also be kinda shaken up by that fact and never design a suit with a cape attached to it ever again. By the way, I think it's obvious by this point that whatever timeline The Incredibles does have, it isn't exactly delicately written. Stratogale was apparently a friend of Mr. Incredible and Elastigirl, showing up at their wedding along with a bunch of other heroes. Her appearance does not look any different to the time she died. Most signs...
Oh, she probably died right after their wedding. Ooh. Yeah.
Point towards The Incredibles being set in the early 1960s, placing the years Bob and Helen got married and Supers being banned around 1947. The exact date Edna gives to Stratogale's death is April 23rd, 1957, a full 10 years after Supers were banned.
Oh, this was not right after, it was... Oh... So this would have been when she was... They had to record that file early, so she was probably just out of being a teenager.
Not only does not really make much sense why there's high-profile super activity going on 10 years after it was outlawed, but Stratogale is apparently supposed to have still been a teenager here, which I don't believe makes much sense. Either the NSA files haven't been...
Or maybe there's just, like, a plot hole that they're putting to the side because it's not part of the main storyline. So, just ignore it.
Properly updated since 1947 and were only updated to mark her death in 1957, or this entire timeline wasn't thought out that well. Sorry to be annoying about it, but it's been bugging me for a while.
Thunderhead. I'm sorry, there's actually someone with the name Thunder. I'm sorry, all I can think right now is this is just a reference, and I know it's not, but I'm thinking it's a reference to Makina Abridged from Team 4-Star. You know, the abridged series that got Deku's voice actor before the English version of him did. Yeah, that was a thing.
Thunderhead PSA, stay in school, take one.
Hello, kids, this is the...
Oh my god, he sounds like such a stoner. Oh, wow. Storm Power's ability to harass and control extreme weather conditions through manipulation of barometric pressures, transportation, multi-environmental vehicle, MEV, plane car combo, weakness, clear day. Personality, pushover, easily controlled by his emotions. Like a thunder cloud, just all over and explosive. Loves kids, adopted single father of 5 children, raising them with help from his roommate Scott. Died in action suit malfunction. It's a cape again.
Thunderhead. I wasn't always a superhero, but now I am. And I didn't graduate. I thought I was trying to tell him to graduate, wasn't it?
Power type. Strong strength, strong endurance, strong intelligence. Agility. Indestructibility. Single dad of 5 with his roommate. Got it.
Hello, kids. This is Thunderhead. Please stay in school. Otherwise, you'll wind up like me. That's not right. I don't know where I'm going with this. You told me there was going to be a script or something. Well, I don't read.
Is it don't or can't? Yeah, I see why the intelligence is right there. And that this might be kindness to give it that much.
But you were
5 kids. He was raising 5 kids with a roommate.
You're going to tell me what to say in through the headphones. And you're not telling me anything except go again. Hello, kids. This is Thunderhead. I didn't like school much, but maybe you will. Because you probably won't have the same teachers I had. That's not so good.
Yeah. It's like the guy's trying, but if you get the wrong teacher, man, you get the wrong teacher. And if you know what I'm talking about, I've had teachers where I was absolutely just, oh God, why are you doing this? And then I had teachers who I thought were going to be like that and turned out to be incredibly supportive. You don't know until you find out. And when you find out, oh God, I hope you're on the right side.
Just aim high and Thunderhead believes in you. Thank you.
Thunderhead's interview might be the saddest of the bunch. Edna described him as a really nice guy in the movie, but this tape really sells that for me. I get the...
He has an issue, but he's doing his best. Yeah. Single father of 5 adopted children. And they get to become orphans. Well, at least they're the roommate. And yeah, 40s, that would not fly with anyone in the 40s.
The impression Thunderhead isn't just dim, but might be mentally impaired in some way. He didn't graduate high school either, and his comment about his teachers gives the impression he may not have had the most respectful or accommodating upbringing. He also clearly struggles with the directions being given to him for the stay-in-school PSA he's recording, and it just makes me feel really bad for the guy. He also adopted 5 kids of his own that he raised alongside his roommates, only referred to as Scott. I'd make a comment about how it can be easily inferred from this that he's probably gay, but I can't really say for sure. Still though, the fact he died in action and left 5 kids to be
It's always the damn cape.
Raised by his roommate and no one else is just really sad, honestly.
Universal, man. I wonder how many references are going to be to Da Vinci on this one.
Most superheroes have the alter ego so they can have...
Oh, we're going full Schwarzenegger. Power type. Yeah, strength. Endurance. Intelligence. Agility. Indestructibility. Okay. Molecular density transformation alters personal density from gaseous to near black hole. Flies by transforming to lighter than air density. Weakness, ultra high density transformation can create uncontrollable gravitational nexus. Oh, so literally black hole. Team affiliation, Betaforce, low self-esteem, unsatisfied and secret identity life. Whenever possible, keep busy.
The so-called normal life. Me, I choose not to. I don't see why I get so much flack for not having an alter ego.
He doesn't have an alter ego. Oh, he literally just lived in the Cape. Oh, no, he's German in the 40s? Ah.
I mean, it's supposed to be a secret. No one's supposed to know. So what's the point? So if I take a girl on a date, I'm wearing the costume, sure. They like to bask in the awe of Universal Man. But then we're alone, you know, with the candlelight music and the pericomo and the fragrant oils and things of this nature. Then they come to me and they say, oh, Universal Man, maybe you take off the mask. Maybe we can see who's underneath. There's no one underneath. They would be horrified if I asked them to take off their face.
Yeah, I think low self-esteem and unsatisfied secret identity life is underselling just how bad this is. This is someone who has not low self-esteem, but active self-hatred. Oh, God.
This is what Universal Man wears. This is me. Other than being indestructible because of my high density, I am just like you. And that's when the breakup starts with the lady.
Not applicable. Laystone takes them down by using pyrotechnic. Universal Man flushes them out by creating confusion and panic. Abandoned Wolves Fair Pavilion statue of Atlas. Oh. Paired together by NSA as part of Blazestone's rehabilitation. These two will be they don't kill each other first. Oh, God.
Night recriminations and the slamming of the doors and the shattering bottles and the things of this nature.
I'm assuming, since Magtar mentioned this one somehow fell the first Omnidroid, he probably was just hit when he was in low gaseous state, or they took off his costume somehow. And Harkin, so the mask is just a skin? I think he would like it if it was. Yeah. And more what Valerian said, too depressed to resist. Yeah. He needs to activate his power and become a black hole to be indestructible. But his mental game is, that's sad, man.
And the redistribution of the assets, and it's not me, it's you, it's not you, it's me. But in Universal Man's experience, it's always you.
Universal Man is just really funny to listen to. He's incredible.
Also, you can literally tell he's in a gym working out while they're interviewing him. Because he doesn't try and do the secret identity, so he's just probably working out in costume. And I can't unsee Sonic the Hedgehog. Also, Ninjas, YouTube is just Twitch with AI stickers now. What the fuck? There's AI stickers? Oh, that's what those are? I thought they were already custom made. Oh, that's disappointing.
Incredibly unstable, but I don't get the same level of disgust I get from hearing him speak like I do with Gamma Jack and Psychwave.
No, I mean, this guy doesn't sound unstable in the monster who needs to be put down, Psychwave, sense. This is someone who legitimately has utter and terrible self-loathing. Like, low self-esteem, my ass. No, this guy actively sounds like he hates himself. Like, Everseer would probably unironically be a good foil for him as someone who could legitimately help him.
Say he's far more redeemable at least. It's clear he has incredibly low self-esteem, being one of the few superheroes to not have a secret identity whatsoever. What I want to know is how the hell he died to the first Omnidroid. He was the...
I'm pretty sure it would be Syndrome not giving him a costume. Because once heroes were banned, he probably wouldn't be able to keep that. Yeah, without the costume, this guy probably was easy picking because he wouldn't even resist or know to do so. Like, I could see this guy legitimately just not fighting and either that or going a gasish mode and getting blown away. Like, this honestly seems more like it wasn't a fight. It was the mental problems catching up to him.
First superhero targeted by Syndrome and the very first hero to die to the Omnidroid, despite his powers being absolutely cracked. He may not be the strongest hero ever, but he's nigh on indestructible and can increase his molecular density to make him even tougher to take down and even stronger to boot. Not to mention he can alter his personal
The thing is, he has to do it, and I get the impression it probably involved mental problems taking over. Because again, we heard the utter self-loathing on that thing.
All the way to the level of a literal black hole, and if he did this, the entire world would just end. By all accounts, he should be one of the few characters in this world who is practically invincible, and yet he still died to the first Omnidroid. Fucking how?
Also, it could be a case of they made the powers up after deciding he died, and they just didn't think it through enough because this was side material. But we're going to ignore that because it's much less fun.
He's clearly not intelligent, being like a couple points above Thunderhead in that regard, but he had to have been caught off guard and killed immediately, right? I just can't imagine a scenario where he could see the very first Omnidroid coming and still die somehow. Sorry, Universal Man, your powers are cool and your voice is funny, but you are the biggest fraud in this universe by a long shot. those were all the tapes available on the Incredibles DVD. I hope this was an informative and interesting.
Did the other movie add more of this, or was it only on the first movie? Or any other way to put this out there?
Watch. I certainly found myself in awe at how much detail was put into these despite them being completely optional content. There's still a lot about the Incredibles lore I haven't fully tapped into yet, like the Elastigirl prequel book and the now non-canon comic books. There's
Ooh, also Tensu, I'm going to pull up your comment. It's over here. So, just popping in to ask if you could ever watch Remy Down Under video, Canadian Drop Troop. Otherwise, I've missed too many streams. Catching up has been difficult. Sorry about that, man. But yeah, we'll add that one in. 1 sec, let me just double check that.
Incredibles.
Also, just learning how much more about the Incredibles there is. Holy shit, man. Yep, that's easy.
Bye.
Guaranteed video. Got it.
Media out there that I just had no idea about, and I'm very eager to learn more and put some pieces together. Who knows, one day I might make the bizarre lore of the Incredibles before Chupo does.
He's competing with Chupo? Oh, he actually might be competing with Chupo. Also, yeah, I feel you, man.
No offense, Chupo.
Cartoonshi, I know where you live.
He got the audio for that.
Oh. Anyway, thanks for watching. That's the end of the video. Play Yakuza or something.
I have no idea what game this is. Okay. Oh my god. So yeah, there's a few things about The Incredibles I never had any idea about. The fact that there was a second movie being the apparently easiest one, followed by everything else. And so many of these had horrible stories that were just like, this is so great. Oh god, 5 kids, they're all orphans now. And then hoping if the probably 40s or 50s NSA would be willing to help out what might very well be a gay man living with his definitely not still illegal to be gay roommate. Yeah. Oh god. There's a lot of things in here that I didn't realize were that fucked up. And some of them were like, oh god, Syndrome did everyone a favor. I'm looking at you, Psywave. If that ever came back as a villain, that would be the first R-rated Pixar film if they did it accurately. Because she explicitly misused her power for her own self-benefit with guys she wanted to be in a relationship with. You know. The date rape hero. I'm not even making a joke about that one. Also, Zero, no Ace Attorney? Probably not today. Sorry, man. Yeah, that's fucking evil, man. But then everything else is just so weird. There's all over the place on this. Some were great, some were sad, others were inducing for good and bad reasons in the Psywave. I thought the Incredibles Homelander would be the guy. Oh god, no, it's even more than that. Basically what I'm saying is, if you haven't already, there's a link below to the original video. Hit it up. I'll see you guys in the next one. Adios.